Today, President Biden made a string of sort of increasingly high-profile appointments on Homeland Security, military, and law enforcement posts, including a new head of the Border Patrol, a new head of Citizenship and Immigration, a new head of the Drug Enforcement Agency, the new number 2 official at the Department of Homeland Security, the new head of cybersecurity at Homeland Security, a new Army secretary. President Biden's nominee to be Secretary of the Army will be the first woman ever appointed to that position. Army Secretary is the civilian chief, not the uniform chief for that branch of the armed services. It's the first time a woman has ever been nominated to be Army Secretary. I just referenced the January 6th attack on the Capitol, talking about Officer Brian Sicknick as we look ahead to Officer Billy Evans lying in honor tomorrow at the Capitol. I should tell you, in relation to January 6th, there was also, I think, a bit of a sigh of relief today that President Biden finally named somebody to be his nominee for head of the criminal division at the Justice Department. This week, Friday, will be 100 days since the January 6th attack on the Capitol, and there have been hundreds of people arrested, hundreds of people charged, but many observers, including some of the judges involved in these cases, have noted a certain level of chaos and disorganization at the Justice Department in the way these cases have been handled, up to and including the Trump appointee who was serving as the top prosecutor in D.C., him inexplicably going on television and giving a detailed interview about charges he thought should probably be brought against Capitol rioters, or charges that might be brought, and people who haven't been charged yet who he thinks maybe should be charged. Nobody knows why he did that. He apparently did not have permission from the Biden Justice Department to give that interview. The Biden administration did bench that guy. They moved him out of the top prosecutor's job in D.C., which is good since his totally out-of-bounds public remarks about the January 6th cases are already being used by defense lawyers to undermine prosecutions of accused Capitol rioters in D.C. federal court. The Biden administration has moved him out of position. But who's moving in? Republicans in the Senate have slowed down the confirmation process so much for all Justice Department Biden appointees, including Attorney General Merrick Garland, whose nomination they slow-walked for a very long time, that there's been consternation that all of those hundreds of cases about January 6th and the overall investigation and prosecution of the Trump mob attack on the Capitol that day, there has been consternation that it has seemed a little bit at sea, with nobody in charge, nobody coordinating, nobody making sure that the Justice Department, for example, is making consistent applications to the court that defendants charged with like crimes be treated in similar ways by the different courts that are hearing all of these cases. That it hasn't seemed like there has been anybody at the Justice Department in charge of wrangling that overall investigation and all of those hundreds of complex cases, as the Biden administration hasn't been able to set up their upper echelon leadership at the Justice Department thus far. Well, now, as of today, at least, we know who President Biden has chosen to run the part of the Justice Department that will manage all of these cases. That's a start. Kenneth Polite was the U.S. attorney, the top federal prosecutor in New Orleans under President Obama. Now he is reportedly being chosen by President Biden to head up the criminal division at the Justice Department, which will mean he will have a massive remit at the Justice Department, but it will include the overall management of the January 6th prosecutions. Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. You should know that you can follow today's top stories and breaking news and catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.